Nier Automata starts off good. Nowadays, most games forget about the whole demo thing, because usually it does more bad than good for game companies. Either people play a demo and hate it, play a demo and are indifferent, or play a demo and buy the game. 2 out of those 3 options are negative, so why even do it? Luckily, Nier Automata did, and because of that has been added to the short list of games I've played demos for and then bought on the spot. The Nier demo just so happens to be the opening of the game, so I think it's fair to call this Nier Automata starts off good. Now, I've never played the first game, and apparently there's even more in the same world or something, so I wasn't sure what to expect from the game, just word of mouth that the Nier games can get weird. And right from the main menu, this holds true. When starting a new game, the first thing it tells you is this game does not support autosave. Play the game to find out how to save. Straight to the point. Hey, I'm not here to hold your hand or make this easy. Play the game and you'll figure it out. A refreshing thing to hear in a time when so many games are the same. The game loads up and throws us right into the action with some big, lofty dialogue taking itself way too seriously. But a lot of this opening's charm comes from the weird juxtaposition of what you're looking at versus what's being said.
I often think about the god who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
So technically I've lied to you that the demo is the intro to the game and that it starts off good. See, the demo starts here with the character bursting through a wall right into a fight, which is blurred out because, you know, the spoilers for 30 seconds from now. But the game really starts with this boring and kinda cheap looking Star Fox ripoff. Except this one can be played on your TV. What a crazy idea! So let's just get this out of the way. Nier Automata is a hybrid of a few different genres, but most pronounced are bullet hell shooters and third-person action games. 2 genres I'm sure you've heard of, but one of them you're probably more familiar with. Starting out in the genre that people are less familiar with is strange, and makes the game's presentation feel cheap like an Xbox Live Arcade game from the outset. Even though I knew more awesome stuff was to come, it struck me as an odd choice, since very little necessary information is even given in this scene. Don't get me wrong, one of the reasons I'm so impressed by the demo is its mix of different genres, but maybe that's why the people who put the demo together started right here.
Heavy damage. Standard top line legal sounds estimated.
What the fuck? So now starts the Nier Automata starts off good section of the video, because this is where the demo starts. The game throws you right into the action with only a few button prompts to get you started. No bullshit tutorial like move the right analog stick to look around. Move the left analog stick to move forward. You get the point. This game won't hold your hand. Just like how the intro says, fuck you, learn how to save it, the menus do the same thing. They have a system of chips you can install to your character to give her different abilities from movement speed to HUD elements. But they even have an operating system chip that, if removed, kills you. It's just sitting there like all the other options, and sure, it has a little warning, but the fact that it's even included is hilarious. Pay attention and think for yourself, or you'll die, even in the menus. So it starts out simple with little robots walking towards you to kill you, and then a few of them start shooting red balls. Gameplay styles carry through different sections, following the same basic rules. Even in the third-person action sections, you still have to dodge bullets like a bullet hell shooter. So at this point, you start playing with the game's mechanics and learning how it all works. I remember playing this demo for the first time and hitting the trigger to see what it did, and this cool running animation started that went into a fast sprint and felt awesome. Sprinting around wasn't necessary until I learned it also dodged attacks, but it looked cool running around enemies. And right from the beginning, when you see your character, it brings up a bunch of questions. Who's this lady? Why is she able to break through walls? Why is she dressed in a gothic fetish outfit? Is that really the best attire to be fighting goofy looking robots? Why does she have a sword? And why does it float? I think the key to a good game opening is how many questions it leaves you with. Plus, you know, it doesn't really hurt when the character looks like this, but we'll get to that when we hit our first ladder. But anyways, you beat the last robot and then this happens.
Enemies destroyed.
Not quite.
And you're right back into the gameplay. No crazy cutscene where the character fights this big thing, you do it. This also sets up the ridiculous scale this game presents. Fight this ridiculously huge thing. Have fun. Some developers would be afraid to have an enemy so big, and I don't blame them. This fight can feel a little janky, but the fact that it's here anyways just makes the game stand out. Right here, I got pretty hurt the first time and had to figure out healing, and was greeted by this Metal Gear Solid looking menu, a menu design that, again, stands out. That's going to be a key term with this game, standing out, being different, having a unique feel, something the games industry has lost over the years. I plan on doing a whole video on this topic, but if you're old enough to think back to the PS2 era of gaming, what really stands out? God of War featured a unique fixed camera system and a huge reliance on over-the-top QuickTime events. Now it's become a generic-looking third-person action game. Not saying it's gonna be bad, but it's not as unique. Metal Gear Solid again has a unique camera and menu system, and even when it changed to the third-person camera, it still had a feeling of its own, restricting gunplay to emphasize stealth. Now Metal Gear Solid is a generic third-person open-world stealth kind of game. There are countless examples, and not all for the worse, but changed to something more similar nonetheless. So from Nier's first moments, it says, hey, I'm gonna be different. After defeating the giant steam shuffle robot thing, this little boy in a mech shows up to finish it off and introduce himself.
My name's 9S. I'm here to provide support.
Copy that.
Again, this character is dressed in a weird black clothing and a blindfold for some reason, but his dialogue at least moves things forward.
So, was that big old buzzsaw the Goliath you came here to take out?
No, just another defensive system.
The writing in this game is definitely cringeworthy at some points, but here it tells you your mission without having to give a whole briefing that bogs down the game. Just one line that explains what's happening without having to spell it out. Another fun thing about the dialogue is just how serious these people are taking the situation.
I've got a flight unit, so I'll take a look around the perimeter.
All right, I'll work my way inside from the ground.
These ridiculous characters and outfits and whatnot would make it easy to wink and nod at how crazy all this stuff is, but they take this mission seriously, and when he leaves, the epic music returns telling you to get back to the super important mission. Here, the intro opens up a bit and allows you to explore a beautiful but still run-down world. The speed of your character and her animations make running around feel good as you make your way through a few groups of enemies. Now here's the moment that this game stood out in my head, and it's all because of a staircase. Turning this corner and going up the stairs shifts the camera into a 2D perspective, and continues over the bridge to show the environment. Sure, the game here would have worked fine with the normal 3D camera, but it said, nah, we're gonna change it just so it looks cool. And this is what I meant about games feeling unique. When I think of Metal Gear Solid, I will always think of the top-down camera. And with Nier, I'll always think of the different ways it uses its camera. You continue fighting through the facility, going back and forth between 3D and 2D sections, getting some character development here and there.
Sorry, ma'am.
And another thing, stop calling me ma'am.
Huh?
It's unnecessary.
All right, then. 2B it is.
And now your little robot friend comes into play. Because of the shifting camera, your right thumbstick can aim the little robot, and in 2D sections, it controls like some arcade shooters. Moments of dialogue also don't interrupt the gameplay much. In a lesser game, they would wrestle control away from the player, maybe a finger to the ear, forced to walk slowly and listen to exposition.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
Shut up!
But here they let you run through it and get on with the action if you want. Then the game just becomes Metal Gear.
Lolly lule low. Lolly lule low. Lolly lule low.
Shifting the camera to above the player returns to the gameplay style of the intro, a top-down bullet hell shooter. But now with the added skills of your character 2B, we have to balance avoiding bullets, dodging enemy attacks, and using our own attacks and combos. This is when the intro really shines and shows that just a few unique features can really make something feel its own. You finish them off and look around, finding some boxes you can't quite open yet, making me think that you can come back and explore the locations later. And this is further reinforced by the Dark Souls-esque shortcut you can drop that doesn't really come into play now, but maybe later it will. Alright, I don't know how to start the next part, so butt ladder. It's butt ladder. Here's what many people will say is the real reason I like this game, and well, yeah. Nier Automata has a very appealing aesthetic. Creative characters, interesting locations and enemies, and it looks very nice. I also feel like I have to explain that someone sent this to me and I didn't buy it. That's a very important distinction. I still use it though. So you go down this butt ladder and you go through this butt door and you climb up the butt of this oil rig to see some birds that also have butts. And oh well, that's it. We've gone through the whole factory and found nothing.
It's not like Command to get a location wrong. I guess even they get bad intel from time to time, huh?
But I don't know. Would they really end the demo without finding anything? That seems a bit odd. Out of nowhere, 2 of the giant steam shovel things attack, but now you've learned. Dodge those attacks, use those lasers. These things are pushovers. Wait.
Is that?
Target enemy detected.
Honestly, this shot right here might have sealed the deal on this game. Sure, 2B has a sweet ass, but look at this. This is stupid. In a good way. I can't believe what I'm looking at and I need to play this fucking game way. The music, scale, and amount of shit this guy throws at you is just crazy. The enemy goes under the bridge at one point and that awesome running animation from before gets put to good use. Fucking run, 2B, go! Yeah, but oh no, our mech friend. I must save him.
Send a support request to Command.
Negative. Communications have been jammed.
Oh no, our little friend 9S lost a leg.
2B, just go.
You shut up too.
We're soldiers. We take pride in our service.
So yeah, this is where the intro definitely starts to fall short. Earlier on, the characters said,
Emotions are prohibited.
Sorry, ma'am.
And I kinda wish they followed their own rules. When the characters start to get emotional, it turns into a cringe fest with over-important dialogue and cliche after cliche after cliche. Because this video exists, you know it wasn't bad enough to ruin the overwhelmingly good parts, but it did knock it down a few points. In this series, I plan on covering both good and bad intros, but here it's mostly good. And that's because after the cringe, you get 9S's mech thing and get ready to fuck shit up. Bang! Boom! Robot swords! Machine guns!
Control system.
And then you literally beat the boss with his own arm. That fight was awesome and made me forget about some of the cringeworthy dialogue. After that, something happens with them sacrificing themselves with a box and that's it. Yes, there are some parts that are a cringe fest, but overall, the intro promises a game with fast and flashy action, weird and different gameplay, and she's got a nice ass. All of these things come together to make a game that starts off good. And that's why this series is called Starts Off Good. Not great, but good. Every game has its flaws, but Nier Automata showed me a game that's different in a time when gaming is very much the same. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the second in what I'm calling and dubbing a series called Starts Off Good. I think it's fun to like look at the intros of games, both good and bad. I think the next one I'm gonna do is Horizon Zero Dawn versus like Far Cry 4 and how one's great and one's kinda eh. But let me know what you guys thought of this video. If you have played Nier Automata, do you think it's good? Do you like it? Let me know what you guys think, or if you enjoyed the video, or just say hi in the comments, that's cool. Also hit that like button if you wanna support the show, and subscribe to the channel if you're not, and if you wanna go above and beyond, consider supporting me on Patreon. That being said, here's a special thanks to everyone who donated over $5! Xavier Charlotte, thank you. They Call Me Pepper, thank you. Curtis Wilson, thank you. Deep Tech, thank you. Luke A. VAWTER, thank you. Jay Bodane, thank you. Carl Sykes, thank you. Drew Iterator Rick, thank you. Julio Juarez, thank you. Darian A. Mann, thank you. I got it this time. It's Anthony CSN backwards. I don't know how I didn't see that. Everyone else I showed it to knew it right away, so congratulations, you got me. TJ Grum, thank you. Omar Diaz, thank you. Riley Davidson, thank you. Paul Witowski, thank you. I am $2, thank you. Ryan O'Connell, Shadowcloud, thank you. And Frederick Moeller, thank you guys so much for supporting the show. I'll see you on the next one.